Although a lot of people are tuning into electric power tools, there are still a lot of us who are still using air tools. This is the McGRAW half-inch Composite Air Impact Wrench, which has been out for several months at the time of this video. I paid a little more than $50 plus tax for one of these new, and knowing that it has 900 foot-pounds of bolt breakaway torque, that is amazing at this price range. It is an air impact wrench, so nothing too crazy around the tool except for the normal dials and controls. Just a standard variable speed trigger, which feels really smooth but doesn't have much travel unfortunately. At the rear of the tool is the speed dial, 1 reverse and 3 forward speeds, which is all what most people will need. Build quality also feels pretty good as well. Some have noted that this air impact wrench looks a little bit like some of Harbor Freight's old earthquake impact wrenches. I can sort of see that resemblance when compared to my old earthquake impact wrench as I purchased it back in 2016. The body shape of the McGraw isn't a direct copy of the earthquake, as we can see the screws for the hammer case assembly are located at the rear of the McGraw, unlike the earthquake. I can also tell you right off the bat that the earthquake is much heavier just by picking it up. To confirm this, the McGraw weighs 2,242.6 grams, whereas the earthquake weighs 2,829.8 grams. So the internals should definitely be different as well. I have a 3/8-inch air hose with 3/8-inch T-style couplers. This setup can be easily replicated with local parts and equipment, which already provides plenty of power to these tools. My 20-gallon air compressor is also set to 90 psi of working pressure as recommended by the air tools. I have the tool oiled up, and I have these lug nuts torqued down to 80 foot-pounds as recommended by the vehicle. The McGraw should have no issues removing these nuts. As expected, no issues. Let's remove this axle nut, torqued down to 150 foot-pounds as recommended by the vehicle specification. The axle nut came out just fine without any issues. This may be hard to notice on camera, but there is something I noticed immediately after removing the first lug nut. The tool comes to a stop much slower than expected. I did struggle to remove the lug nut off the socket since the tool was still coming to a stop, but it was still spinning quite fast. The tool comes to a stop much slower than what I have experienced in the past with my other air impact wrenches, which makes removing lug nuts much slower since I have to wait longer for the tool to stop. When removing the axle nut, we can see how long it takes for the tool to come to a stop. Let's compare it with the old earthquake. Still using the same air hose, couplers, and the air compressor is still set at 90 psi of working pressure. Let's put the axle nut back at 150 foot-pounds and try again. I'm not convinced just yet, so let's retorque to 150 foot-pounds and try it with my Nitro Cat. How about the Earthquake XT half-inch Ultra Torque? And the Earthquake XT half-inch stubby impact wrench? Let's do the McGraw again. With no load, this is how quickly it comes to a stop compared to the others. I was still skeptical and thought that the McGraw may just need some time to break in. After purchasing each one of these air impact wrenches brand new, the McGraw is the only one that exhibits this issue. Here's footage of me with the Earthquake XT half-inch Ultra Torque when it was brand new. If I experienced this issue with the Ultra Torque, I would have mentioned it back then. Maybe it's the RPM speed? At no load, the McGraw has 8500 RPMs. Both the old Earthquake and NitroCat have 8000 RPM, and the stubby Earthquake has 10,000 RPM. So that already invalidates that thought. Aside from the slow stop concern, the performance of this tool is great with this setup, as I have never had any issues with my other air impact wrenches in terms of performance. Some people do go with high airflow fittings, but from an average consumer standpoint, Harbor Freight sells these 3/8-inch T-style air couplers just down the same aisle as their air tools. That is exactly where the average person will go to get their couplers, meaning my setup here is very easy to replicate. Also considering the fact that this tool is only $49.99 MSRP, this is an entry-level tool aimed towards affordability. Now that it's on sale for $39.99 until October 10, 2024, that's an even greater buy. I hope you found this video to be helpful, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Your support really goes a long way. And as always, thanks for watching.